In the annals of American history, few tales are as chilling as that of the Finders cult. A secretive group shrouded in mystery, they existed on the fringes of society, operating under a veil of secrecy. But what began as whispers of unorthodox practices soon spiraled into a maelstrom of accusations, child abuse, ritualistic behavior, and most disturbingly, alleged ties to the Central Intelligence Agency. The Finders, led by the enigmatic Marion Petty, were more than just a bizarre collection of individuals. They were a tightly knit community with a penchant for secrecy, operating under the radar for decades. Their activities remained largely unnoticed, hidden from the prying eyes of the public. But in the winter of 1987, a chilling discovery in Tallahassee, Florida, would thrust them into the harsh glare of the national spotlight, forever altering the course of their story. The ensuing investigation, spearheaded by local authorities, unearthed a Pandora's box of unsettling evidence, hinting at a dark underbelly within this seemingly harmless group. The discovery of malnourished children living in squalor, subjected to bizarre rituals and unorthodox teachings, sent shockwaves through the nation. Yet, as investigators dug deeper, they stumbled upon something far more sinister, something that pointed towards a conspiracy of unimaginable proportions. Whispers of CIA involvement began to surface, casting a long, ominous shadow over the case. Were the Finders merely a group of eccentric individuals who had strayed too far from the norm, or were they pawns in a much larger, more sinister game orchestrated by the shadowy figures of the intelligence community? The lines between truth and speculation blurred, leaving a trail of unanswered questions that continue to haunt us to this day. The Finders, also known as the Finders Group, were a fringe group that defied easy categorization. They were a hodgepodge of individuals from various walks of life, drawn together by a shared belief system that remained opaque to outsiders. Led by Marion Petty, a charismatic figure with a shadowy past, they adhered to a unique philosophy that emphasized self-reliance, unconventional living, and a rejection of societal norms. Their unorthodox lifestyle, characterized by communal living, unconventional child-rearing practices, and an aversion to technology, raised eyebrows among those who crossed their path. They were nomads in their own right, drifting from one location to another, seemingly untethered to the constraints of conventional society. Their homes, often dilapidated and run down, were a testament to their unconventional lifestyle, a far cry from the comfort and familiarity of suburban life. Their activities were shrouded in secrecy, their true motives a subject of intense speculation. Some viewed them as harmless eccentrics, seeking solace from the perceived ills of modern society. Others, however, harbored darker suspicions, whispering of brainwashing, child exploitation, and a sinister agenda that lurked beneath the surface. As the Finders moved from city to city, leaving a trail of unanswered questions in their wake, they attracted the attention of law enforcement officials. Their unconventional lifestyle, coupled with their secretive nature, raised red flags, prompting authorities to take a closer look at the group and its enigmatic leader. Little did they know that their investigation would uncover a web of intrigue that extended far beyond the confines of this seemingly harmless community. The winter of 1987 cast a long, cold shadow over Tallahassee, Florida. The air was thick with anticipation as the holiday season approached, but beneath the veneer of festivity, a storm was brewing. It was here, in this unassuming southern city, that the dark secrets of the Finders would finally come to light, forever changing the lives of those involved. On February 4th, a concerned citizen contacted the Tallahassee Police Department, reporting suspicious activity at a local park. 2 unkempt men were spotted with 6 disheveled children, their behavior raising alarm bells. The men, later identified as Michael Houlihan and Douglas Ammerman, members of the Finders, were apprehended. Their apprehension the catalyst for a chain of events that would send shockwaves across the nation. The children, ranging in age from 2 to 7, were found to be malnourished, neglected, and exhibiting signs of emotional distress. Their accounts of life within the Finders were disturbing, to say the least. They spoke of bizarre rituals, unconventional teachings, and a life devoid of the normalcy and structure that most children take for granted. As the investigation gained momentum, authorities uncovered a network of safe houses scattered across the country, each one home to members of the Finders and their children. A raid on a warehouse in Washington, D.C. yielded a treasure trove of disturbing materials: photographs of children engaged in bizarre activities, computers containing cryptic information, and documents outlining the group's unorthodox belief system. The evidence pointed towards something far more sinister than a simple case of child neglect. It hinted at a dark underbelly within the group, one that law enforcement was determined to expose. At the heart of the Finders' enigmatic world stood Marion Petty, a figure as charismatic as he was mysterious. Born in 1918, Petty was a man of contradictions. A World War II veteran who preached peace, a former government employee who shunned authority, a self-proclaimed guru who seemed to revel in the shadows. Petty's past was a tapestry woven from equal parts fact and fiction. He claimed to have served in the Army Air Corps during World War II, his service record shrouded in secrecy. Following the war, he reportedly worked for the State Department. It was during this time, Petty claimed, that he became disillusioned with the American government, his distrust of authority deepening with each passing year. In the 1960s, Petty founded the Finders, his teachings attracting a motley crew of followers drawn to his unconventional philosophies. He espoused a blend of Eastern mysticism, New Age beliefs, and survivalist principles, creating a unique worldview that resonated with those seeking an alternative path. He encouraged self-sufficiency, communal living, and a rejection of societal norms, his teachings often bordering on the bizarre. Petty's charisma was undeniable. He possessed an uncanny ability to captivate his followers, instilling within them a sense of loyalty that bordered on fanaticism. He was a master manipulator, adept at exploiting the vulnerabilities of those who crossed his path. To his followers, he was a visionary, a guru who held the keys to enlightenment. To his detractors, he was a dangerous cult leader, a predator who preyed on the weak and impressionable. As the investigation into the Finders deepened, authorities found themselves navigating a labyrinth of dead ends and inconsistencies. The group's secretive nature, coupled with their nomadic lifestyle, made it difficult to establish a clear timeline of events or to corroborate the children's accounts. Witnesses were reluctant to talk, their silence speaking volumes about the hold that Petty had over his followers. Adding to the complexity of the case were the conflicting reports emerging from within law enforcement itself. Rumors of a CIA connection began to surface, with some investigators suggesting that the Finders were being protected by powerful forces within the intelligence community. These claims, though unsubstantiated at the time, fueled speculation and cast a long, ominous shadow over the investigation. Sergeant John Stitcher, a detective with the Tallahassee Police Department, emerged as a key figure in the investigation. Stitcher, a seasoned investigator with a reputation for thoroughness, became convinced that there was more to the Finders than met the eye. He compiled a detailed report outlining his suspicions and highlighting what he believed to be evidence of a cover-up. According to Stitcher, the Finders were a CIA front, their activities sanctioned and funded by the intelligence community. He claimed that Marion Petty had ties to the CIA, alleging that the group was involved in mind control experiments and other clandestine activities. These allegations, though explosive, were met with skepticism from higher-ups, who dismissed them as the ramblings of an overzealous detective. Declassified documents later revealed that the CIA had indeed conducted various mind control experiments during the same period, lending some credence to Stitcher's claims. Additionally, news clippings from the era showed Petty in the company of known CIA operatives, further deepening the mystery surrounding the Finders. Investigative journalists who dug into the case found numerous instances of government cover-ups, adding another layer of intrigue to the already convoluted story. The CIA's involvement in various covert operations during the Cold War era, including mind control projects like MK-Ultra, was well documented. These operations often involved the use of unwitting subjects and were shrouded in secrecy, making it difficult to separate fact from fiction. Marion Petty's alleged connections to the intelligence community only added to the intrigue, with some suggesting that the Finders were part of a larger, more sinister agenda. Former CIA operatives interviewed by investigative journalists hinted at the possibility of the Finders being used as a front for intelligence operations. The true extent of the CIA's involvement with the Finders remains a topic of debate, with many questions still unanswered. As the investigation continued, the web of silence and contradictions only grew more tangled, leaving investigators and the public searching for the truth. Despite attempts to downplay the significance of Sergeant Stitcher's findings, his report struck a nerve. Other investigators, both within and outside of law enforcement, began to come forward, sharing their own experiences with the finders and echoing Stitcher's concerns about a possible CIA connection. Ramon Martinez, a U.S. Customs Service agent, claimed to have stumbled upon evidence of the finders' involvement in child sexual exploitation for the intent of blackmailing prominent politicians, diplomats, and businessmen. The finders were also implicated in the abduction of children for these purposes, with the most infamous alleged abduction being that of Johnny Gosch. These claims further fueled suspicions about their connections to the CIA, raising the possibility that the agency might have been complicit in these heinous activities. Martinez, like Stitcher, alleged that his investigation was stonewalled by higher-ups, who warned him to back down and to cease any further inquiries into the group. Adding to the growing chorus of voices was former Nebraska State Senator John DeCamp, who claimed that the finders were part of a larger network of pedophile rings operating within the United States. DeCamp alleged that these rings were protected by powerful individuals within the government and intelligence community. The allegations made by Stitcher, Martinez, and DeCamp were serious, painting a disturbing picture of a powerful and secretive network operating with impunity. Their claims raised troubling questions about the true nature of the finders and the extent of their alleged ties to the CIA. Were these men simply chasing shadows, or were they onto something far more sinister? Something that powerful forces were determined to keep hidden. Thanks for watching our video. And if you liked this video, why not check out our video on the Process Church cult and their links to the son of Sam and Charles Manson serial killings? Or how about the true crime murder mystery of a 16-year-old Jane Doe who was found buried in the basement of a nightclub frequented by Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Jimi Hendrix, Andy Warhol, and other celebrities of the late 1960s? Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, as it really helps out the channel a lot. If you would like to support the channel further, you can find our Patreon link in the video description, and by clicking that link you can get access to our 7-day free trial and our exclusive TV and movie reactions such as Band of Brothers, Das Boot, X-Movie, and many more. This month we are releasing our reactions to the Cube movie and Wolf's Creek. Remember, if you have any particular cult, true crime case, or paranormal incident you would like us to investigate, please let us know in the comments. Until next time, God bless and bye for now.